What is up, family? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. So guys, we are in week number 6 here, recap of the beginner series, and some slow progression this week. Not as quickly or as fast as I think the previous weeks have gone here, but let's kind of jump into it, guys, and kind of talk about it right off the top here. So the first thing, we are at level 52. Like I said, very slow progression. Only jumped up about 2 levels here. We were at level 50 last week, but we definitely did make some progressions in some other areas, primarily our campaigns here. So we'll talk about that. Now, let's start at the top, right? Arena. Where are we in Arena right now? We're currently sitting at 1128, and we actually kind of fell off a little bit with Arena this week. We could be much higher right now, and the reason why we're falling off is because we have been focusing on finishing up some of the campaigns here. Last week when we talked about it, just hit my mic. Last week when we talked about it here, I was trying to work my way through some of the Nexus campaign. We had just completed the Heroes campaign, and now we're stepping into trying to get through, some of that Villains campaign. And I have tried. We realize now with our Sinister 6 team that I'm gonna have to start getting some of these characters up to gear tier 8, and some of that team has been modified a little bit, so that I can actually complete that content. So we actually go into the roster here and talk about it. So this is where our Sinister 6 team is right now, and as you can see, a new character is there that we did not have before, and that is Electro. But let's highlight the Sinister 6 team here. So we already got Mysterio at level 51. We got him at gear tier 8. Shocker right now is at gear tier 7. Would like to be able to get him to gear tier 8. So that's going to be a project that we're working on. Swarm is at 8, 50 and 8. We got Rhino at 50 and 8. And Electro, we just unlocked Electro today on this account, and we brought her up to level 45. So I remember I told you guys, I was kind of trying to figure out who am I using on the Sinister 6 team. And, after a lot of thinking, and, kind of convincing, I think from some of you guys in the chat, or in the comments, whenever you guys say, what about Electro? What about Electro? We finally got her here. And luckily for me, I was able to get a 15 shard drop for Electro, which allowed me to unlock her. I've been kind of going back and forth in terms of farming, right? I'll farm a little bit of Rhino, farm, some Electro, primarily Rhino is who I was farming, but as a secondary farm here, I was farming Electro. And then also every now and again, if I had an abundance of Blitz credits, I would open up some orbs just to be able to get some other characters. I know too many things all at once, right? So we're consolidating that now. We're primarily farming Rhino. We're going to get done with Rhino. And then after that, we're going to go to Electro, because I think, when you look at the Sinister 6 team with Dr. Octopus later on, right? Rhino, Electro, Swarm are an absolute they're a serious big part of that team, so therefore definitely need to make sure that I'm using the characters that are going to be good, not just early for me, but then also long term. So Electro has made it as being a part of my Sinister 6 team here. Now, the one slot that I left is for Shocker. So I've left Shocker right now. Shocker is like the 5th character that is not going to be on this team once Doc Ock is here. The reason why I went with Shocker, it has nothing to do with I think he's the best character per se. He was a character that I had already brought up, to like level 50 already, right? And put some gear into him, put some tech gear into him. And I actually do like some of his kit too, with giving those offense ups, to some of the characters here on the team, or one character on the team right now. His kit's not fully at 6-6-4 yet, so we're not getting the full, variety of his kit. But I think that Shocker works quite well. I thought about Green Goblin, the ability to be able to strip those buffs. I think we're fine where we are right now with Shocker. We're gonna go, in that particular direction. As I said, I've slowed down quite a bit here on the Wave 1 Avengers team. We're still looking to get Black Widow. We are much closer in terms of shards for her. We only need 30 shards to be able to unlock Black Widow. So at some point in time, we'll have her, and we'll have a full Wave 1 Avengers team at some point when the RNG people that hold the shards release it. I don't even know what I just said. Whatever. You get what my point is. My point is, at some point in time when Black Widow is released to me, or when they start releasing these shards, man, we'll be in a much better place. But campaign progress. Let's talk about campaign progress. You already know about Heroes. We are already done with Heroes, at least initially for now. We can't do chapter 7 yet because obviously we're not at level 70, so we're not worried about it yet. Nexus campaign, we stopped at chapter 4. We probably could progress a little bit further on, but I've really been focusing on villains campaign right now, and we have so far gotten all the way up to 6-4. We tried 6-5. We got absolutely slaughtered. So therefore, we're gonna have to put a little bit more effort and a little bit more work into this team right now in order to be able to get them to do this content here. I was hoping, that I would be able to land some other characters that might actually be able to help me to get through this content. Not a part of the Sinister Six team, and just based on where we are in the game right now and some other options that we're going to talk about those options too, in this video. But yes, ideally, this is going to be a very important node for us to 3-star at some point, because we're going to need Nobu to be able to farm him, to be able to get, that Phoenix unlock, right? So going to be very important for us to be able to 3-star that at some point in time. Hopefully soon we'll be able to do that. But let's go into our stores. Like I said, for Blitz store, you already know where we are with the Blitz store. We've been farming, target farming Rhino, as you can see here. Just clicked on him. If I have primarily farming Rhino right now, that's going to be the primary goal. If we have something extra, maybe we'll open up, an orb, or we'll do Electro, or we'll just save it until we can farm Rhino, right? That's probably the better option to go with. For the raid store, we're still just opening up these orbs here. We are definitely opening up our blue gear raid orbs as well. Still hoarding our purples. We don't need them yet. Definitely hoarding our orange. Definitely nowhere close to needing that right now. And then for swarm, we are getting very close with our swarm farm right now. We have 25 out of 130. Eventually, I think probably another maybe week, 2 weeks or so, we'll be able to have swarm at 5 stars and be able to stop farming him and be able to move on with our lives where that is concerned. But the other characters that I was thinking about that I probably could use for the villains campaign, which I just mentioned, right, is Ghost, which we have one more day before we get that last, well, as to when I'm recording this video, we have one more day, for when we're going to be able to, get Ghost unlocked. And I might try to see if I can use her in, that villains campaign. Hopefully that's something that is going to work for me if I get her there. Also, I'm farming Minn-erva, because Minn-erva is eventually going to be a part of my Dark Dimension 2 team. I'm definitely going to be using her, so I do want to get her now, but also I'm thinking about her for raids as well, so therefore I'm kind of thinking about her as a character that I can use also for villains. I can also use, Minn-erva for the Cosmic campaign, because that's going to be a campaign that we're going to need to think about too. There's a very important characters, that are in those campaigns that I'm going to also need to farm, and gear. And I'm also going to need to farm as well in those Cosmic campaigns. So that's where we're at right now. Real quick tip on this one, right, too. Every now and again I'll come into the store, and if there's a character that I have that I know I'm using, I'll buy 1 star for him. Not going any further than that, just buying 1 star for him. Nothing crazy, but just figured I'll mention that also. And in the previous video, I mentioned that Nick Fury is now currently a permanent legendary. My goal here is not necessarily to go target and unlock Nick Fury. My goal really is ultimately to passively farm some of the characters, for Nick Fury. So if I have extra energy at the end of the day, I'll go in and I'll look at some of these Kree minion characters and I'll farm them, right? Right now, the Kree minion characters that are available for me to actually farm in campaign nodes are Kree Reaper and Kree Cyborg. So passively, I'm farming them. Not a primary goal and primary focus, but definitely, passively farming them. And like I said, if I do go back to opening up Blitz orbs again, hopefully I'll be able to lay some shards for Kree Royal Guard. I'm not rushing trying to unlock Nick Fury, right? I want to be able to unlock him to be able to use him. He's a valuable toon. I can use him with that shield team. They can be good for me when it comes to raids, not just these Ultimates raids, right? Because the Ultimates raids, you probably can use your Wave 1 Avengers team once you get ISOs. But I'm thinking also for your Greek raids where you need like skill characters, skill lanes, you have those skill lanes you're going to need, and want to be able to have, some teams that can do that. So Nick Fury does take care of that. Global teams, you have Nick Fury, to be able to help out in those nodes. And then Nick Fury right now, for a lot of, players, use them to unlock that Negasonic node, that Doom 19 campaign node. So pretty important character, I think, in the game. Not OP, has been power crept, but I think a useful character at early game point, and definitely still also a character that you can use at the later game point too as well. But listen, guys, like I said, quick recap, not much to talk about here. Some good progression. Hopefully we'll be able to get to level 55 so we can start doing some ISO stuff. We'd like to be able to get ISOs going. Still only doing our 2 war attacks, you know, so not anything crazy where that's concerned. But listen, guys, hopefully, you know, we'll be able to have some bigger updates, you know, moving forward next week. I'm glad that my Sinister 6 team is kind of figured out now. I can move on with my life, y'all. I can move on with my life. But listen, if you guys have any questions about anything that's going on, leave it in the comments. You guys also know too as well, my Discord links are down below. Twitch, catch me live when I do this. I do this live on stream every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys can find me there. But listen, guys, appreciate y'all much. Love y'all. Y'all be blessed. And y'all be safe.